Hey guys, Steve here again. Wanted to make a video for you guys today about targets. I used to just shoot at paper. Everybody knows how that goes. You pull the trigger, make a bang, go down, check your target. Not really all that exciting. It's good for kind of seeing the limitations of your gun, checking accuracy, working on calling shots, stuff like that. But really, it's kind of a pain if you're just out plinking, having a good time. Especially, I shoot a lot of long range stuff. If I'm shooting 600 yards, I put 20 rounds down range. I gotta get up, walk 600 yards, go check my targets, see what's going on, put new targets up, put pasties up, whatever it is, come all the way back. It's kind of a pain. I've transitioned to steel. I really like shooting steel. I've got quite a bit of steel that I've been shooting. But just kind of my first kind of introduction to shooting either metal targets or reactive targets, I guess it would be, was number 10 cans, or like the big coffee cans. I do a lot of food storage. I don't know if you guys can see. So I've got number 10 cans laying all over the place. Whether we use the flour, we use the wheat, we use the milk, whatever it is, we end up with all these extra number 10 cans around, which ends up being pretty handy because they're fun to shoot at. Biggest downfall to these is, first of all, it's trash. So you got to make sure you pick it all up. Do not leave it out of the range. Makes it ugly for everybody. You run the risk of, if it's state land or public land, you run the risk of having them close it off so you can't shoot on there anymore if it gets too messy. Another thing is, while you're going around picking this stuff up, as you shoot it, you have these little kind of petals of death coming off of this thing, and they are sharp. They're like little jagged razor blades. Don't know how many times I've cut myself on these things. I keep telling myself, oh, I'm going to bring gloves out with me next time, and then the first thing I forget is my gloves. So, I still shoot these. They're still fun. When I take the kids out, they love shooting them because it plinks all over the place and they think they're really neat. Just kind of get a stake, drive it into the ground, sit this thing up on it, and then when you hit it, rings like a bell and jungles around. They're pretty neat. When I actually started looking into having steel targets made for me, which is what I did, I didn't go to like Action Targets or something like that and order them. I went to, there's a couple of steel yards here in town, and went to them, did a lot of research on different types of steel and what people were using in targets, and I figured AR400 was about all I need as far as the hardness goes. And the first set of targets I had made were all 1/4 inch AR400 steel. This was actually the first one I had made, which I kind of wanted to be like a popper. It worked really well for that. As you can see, there is really no way to hang this thing up, and there is no bottom on it. There used to be a bottom on it. It used to have feet. Matter of fact, these are the feet. I just had them put a bend in the bottom, so the feet, it was kind of sitting on the feet like this, and the bend in the bottom weakened the steel enough for the vibrations of the bullets actually impacting the steel up top, developed a crack, and eventually the feet just fell off. So now I need to break my welder out and kind of patch this thing back together. But really cool target. Downside to it, every time you shoot it, it falls over, which is kind of what I wanted. But then after I took it out to the range and had to go pick it up dozens and dozens of times, it got kind of old. Now it is neat if you're working on kind of speed drills, see how many times you can hit it before it actually tips over and you can't shoot it. Works really well for that. I found I can get 3 or 4 shots on it before it tips over with any of my 45 autos. More than that with 9mm. And then 22 it actually won't fall over. It just stands there all day long. I've shot this thing with buckshot on my 12 gauges. I've shot it with 44 mags, 9mm, pretty much everything. 44 mag puts a little bit of a kind of a surface impression. I wouldn't even call it a dent because it doesn't come through to the back. puts a little bit of an impression on it. So I won't really shoot at them too much real close with 44 mag. But everything else is fine. I mean, it shrugs it off. You can barely even tell it got hit. The paint chips off, that's about it. I did have them powder coat it when I had this one. I'm not going to have them powder coat anything else because the powder coat blows off of it. Just get the raw steel. Don't pay more for powder coating. Use spray paint, Krylon, just cheap Walmart, whatever the name or off-brand paint is, works just fine to kind of freshen your targets up. So that was one of the first ones I had built. The second kind of series are these plates, small plates. When I had them made, they didn't have the hole in them, but I had no way of hanging them up, so I took them back down to the steel yard, said, hey, let me borrow your cutting torch, and then just kind of cut a little hole in them, which works really well for hanging them off of these guys here. This is just a regular shepherd's hook. You can get it from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, whatever. If you have any farm and ranch supply stores, I found they generally have them cheaper. I think I got a whole slew of them for $1.50 a piece, $2 a piece, and it works really well. You drive these stakes down into the ground, get your plate, hook it on there, and there you go. When you shoot it, it rings like a bell, jumps around a little bit on you. Works really great. And you can kind of see in this one, I've actually hit this one a couple of times. I've actually shot all of them. You would think that it would cut the shepherd's hook and it would be done. You'd have to go buy another one, but it doesn't. These things have a nice flex in them where the bullet hits it and it just kind of flexes out of the way. It'll put a little bit of a bend in there, but you can straighten that out real easy. Really good little target hangers. They're cheap, they work good, just awesome. The problem I found with these plates, they are AR-400, 1/4 inch steel. They work great for any pistol caliber you got, save magnums. Magnums will put a bit of that surface impression, like I was telling you with that one. They will put a bit of an impression in them as far as 44 mags, the real heavy bullets. Now, I don't know for like a lighter bullet in a 44. My load that I put together for them are a 265 grain Keith type wad cutter with, what is it, 25.5 grains of H110, so I'm pushing those things just about as hard as I can, and they are a fairly heavy bullet, so they do put a bit of a dent on the surface there. But, you know, a lighter bullet, probably not. You should be fine with it. 45 ACP, 9mm, 380 auto, 40 Smith & Wesson, never had a problem with them. The only thing it does to these plates is knock the paint off them. So I got a couple of cans in my range bag. I go back out when they look all battered up like this one and like brand new targets again. The cool thing with them, you pay the money once. I think I paid about $100 for 8 plates, and they'll last me for the foreseeable future. I mean, I can't see myself wearing these things out. Now I do have 3 plates that I will not shoot at anymore because the 1/4 inch AR-400 will not handle close range rifle rounds. I knew that. The people I was going shooting with, I was kind of introducing them to it. They didn't. There's a girl, she was shooting one of my rifles. It was actually my LWRC Reaper. She says, can I shoot at anything out there? I says, yeah, go ahead, shoot at anything. And I see her swing the gun over to where my pistol plates were. And right as I was going to say, accept the plates, she squeezed one off, pow. Didn't penetrate, didn't put a hole in it, but it did put a significant dent in it. And now I'm worried that if I hit that dent with something else, it'll actually splash back and throw that splash from the bullet back towards me. So I won't shoot them anymore. Any with a big dent in them like that. Now, I'll put them 300, it's a big 10-inch plate, so I'll put it out 300-400 yards and tag it with the rifle, and I'm not really worried about it then.